Right, going live. I think you're live. We are live, I think, Adam. Wait, one second. Let's check if we're actually live, because... Oh, my God. Right, going live. Yeah, we're live. We're live. We're actually live. Right, for anyone who's watching... Yeah. For anyone who's actually watching, we've literally just done almost about a third of a show. Think we're live. We've just clicked it now, and it's just said, "Do you want to go live?" And it was like, as if we've just fucking done that. Oh my God! Thank God it's Friday. Jesus.
Oh God.
Right. Let me just double check everything. Right.
I have to do the whole skit again.
The shades are back on. Right, let me just 1 second, because the things looks a bit. Do you want to go live? Yeah, I think we're all right. No, I'm really laggy. Why am I so laggy? Oh God. Oh, this is just going to absolute shit. Look at the connection. Oh,
Jeez.
I'm bouncing about everywhere. I'm not sure why. Oh, there we go. Right, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me 2 seconds whilst I sort this out. Usual technological crap. Turn it to there. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. We'll do it like that. Right. Yeah, connection sweet now. Are we ready? Are we ready to go, Adam? After all these issues, yes. We sorted it. It's been a long week. It's been issues left, right, and centre, but we're here now. That's the important thing. Hello, good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Real Reds Talk Transfer Show. As you can see, I have the Irish legend Adam Gray alongside me to discuss all things Manchester United. How are you, Adam? What are you saying?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling fly for a white guy, and I'm ready to... I kept the shades on this time. Yeah. No, but I'm doing good. How are you today, Nick?
Yeah, as well as can be. I'm excited this weekend. I'm going to get a few bevies down there, some nice food, and just relax, because it's been a busy past three weeks. And talking of busy weeks and busy stuff, United have got a lot of stuff going on at the moment. We're going to dig into that in a second. But before we do that, hit the subscribe button and like the video for us. We're trying to push towards 250 subs before the season starts. So if we can do that, that'd be incredible. And as I just said, yeah, loads of stuff to get into. The lads fly out for pre-season. I think they're flying out right now towards Thailand, or they might be already there, not entirely sure. You've got the new kit that's come out today, whether you care about that or not, I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to touch on that. And then the usual kind of transfer news, so you lot get your weekly fix. How does that sound? Sounds pretty good. Pre-season tour, Adam, let's start off with that. A couple of things I want to ask you. Ronaldo hasn't gone. How big is this for Ten Hag, and what would you do if you're United in this situation?
I think we're at the stage now we should cut our losses. It might sound harsh, like the timing of him actually going, saying that there's an issue behind the scenes. It's just very sus for me, it is. I know they've been through a lot over the last couple of months, the family have, but just the timing of everything, especially with all the, the background noise with the agents talking. I think it's why we're now looking at a striker. We have a few names. We're going to mention them anyway coming up. But I'd probably cut our losses with him now, as much as it pains me to say it, because I absolutely love the guy. He's probably my favorite footballer of all time. Like, it is a little bit, I think it's almost unprofessional now, but look, everything will come out, because, we're leaky Man United, we are. And...
that could be a new chant around the ground. Leaky Man United. Leaky Man United.
Yeah. But it'll come out, whatever the issue is. It always does. And we'll know in the future anyway. So for me, I think cut your losses. Look for the future then. Look for the next big thing.
Absolutely. And we've discussed this briefly before on other shows, especially the most recent ones, of course. But do you think that the reason's genuine? Can you see past it? Because, again, I don't want to look like that kind of fool where we're saying the timing's a bit inconvenient, blah, blah, blah. And then it comes out and says, oh, my granddad died. Then you feel like an absolute fucking idiot. Yeah. But do you see genuine reason, and the timing's a bit suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah, the timing is just so sus. It is. It's not like anything's really adding up. Like everything isn't adding up. Like why now? Why is there so much noise behind the scenes with the agent? So it's the first kind of big, what would I say? Kind of unprofessional. Kind of it is for me. It's like the first time I've seen him this kind of unprofessional. But I might sound like a complete ass in 2 weeks' time when it comes out. Then, so we never know. It's not good to prejudge. I'm trying not to prejudge myself, but it's just my opinion of it right now, given everything that's happened, all the noise, everything behind the scenes. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't. So I think the timing isn't a good bit of timing to be, not going. He's not going to join the tour for me. I think it's the end of him at United now.
And it's crazy, isn't it? If we think back all them months back to the Newcastle game when he scored them 2 goals, we wouldn't, if we said in a year's time or less than a year's time, he'll be leaving and going to another club, the squad have depleted, all this kind of stuff, you wouldn't believe it at all, would you? You wouldn't have said, I can't believe it personally. I absolutely love him as a player. I don't like the way he's going about this. I don't like the timing, how it's happened. I think it's shocking. A week before pre-season, he says, right, I'm leaving, because he knows that would have the biggest impact if he does it then rather than the start of June. I think that's shocking. And now, I think the longer that drags on, people are just going to focus on that now. We've had the De Jong thing, which, again, we're going to touch on a little bit later on when we get into the transfer stories. But we've had that go on for so long. Now it's going to be the Ronaldo month. It's going to be about him for the next 4-5 weeks until he leaves. And then even if we can't get a club to buy him, because a lot of clubs have kind of already said we don't want him or we can't go in for him. Now, what we're going to do then is we're going to keep a Ronaldo for the rest of the season who we know doesn't want to be here. And then, like, I always bring this up, but the Brentford game, when he got took off and on the bench, he made absolutely everybody aware that he was pissed off.
Yeah.
And I think I can't be asked with it. We just got rid of Pogba. Pogba's just touchdown in Turin now. He was another one of them. He was just constantly, it was all about him. It was the Pogba show. And I don't want this to become the Ronaldo show. We've got a rebuild on our hands. We've got Ten Hag who's just settling in, bringing in new players. We need fresh ideas, fresh players, and everyone, kind of on the same hymn sheet. And if Ronaldo's pulling this stunt, I can't see that happening personally. Before we move on to the youngsters, Adam, is there anything else you want to touch on Ronaldo at all?
I think once you mentioned that, how when he kicked off against Brentford, that's what we're trying to avoid in the future now. We've gone through all the stages of it with Pogba in the last couple of seasons. Having someone who does not want to be here, who's unhappy, it leads to a lot of leaks. It leads to unrest in the dressing room. And we've seen when it's total unrest in the dressing room, what happens. And one player can start all that. Now, I'm not blaming him for what's happened in the last season. Like he's standards, and everyone drop below their standards massively. But if you hold on to something like that in the next season and he's unhappy, it's going to be a negative influence despite maybe scoring some important goals. But overall, it'll be a mess. It will.
Yeah. Sadly. Do you subscribe to the theory that he affects the team in how they want to play systematically? So let's say Chelsea, for example, the way they play, say they've been linked with United, right? They've been linked with Ronaldo, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why Lukaku failed there is because he didn't really suit the system and they pressed much better without him. So do you subscribe to the theory that Ronaldo coming in affected the other lads' numbers and that's the reason why they dropped? Or do you think that was just an individual issue that they've got and Ronaldo doesn't affect the system at all?
It's a weird one. I think it's a wee bit of both as well, because I've seen Ronaldo actually run back on the nearly into the left back position, covering for Rashford, who just wasn't arsed running. Yeah. So it's individuals too. They drop their levels massively, and then they seem to want the blame to be pinned on Ronaldo solely. But they're not the ones running back, and when they get the ball, they're running up blind alleys. They're not affecting the game that much. So for me, it is a sense of both. Like there is times like, oh, why isn't he kind of pressing higher up, blah, blah, blah. But then we see him running back and defending for the team. And a lot of the times he wasn't getting the actual service from these guys, that he was dropping to the right wing and left wing position. And we were very, very critical of that, because then when the ball got in, he wasn't there. And that's where you want them to be. So I think it's down to individuals too, particularly our wingers. They haven't been up to scratch last season, they weren't. And they're the guys who you need to create like your chances to get to the byline, put a cross in. Because we haven't actually seen that much Ronaldo headers. I think he scored maybe about 3-4.
There's a couple in the Champions League, that I remember specifically.
Yeah. Atlanta, I know.
Villarreal as well, wasn't there?
Villarreal.
Was it?
Villarreal. Or no, that was no, he kind of chest that down, didn't he? Or
which one was one? Luke Shaw crossed it in. Was that against Atlanta?
That was Atlanta, yeah. And then we had Norwich from a corner. Spurs,
yeah.
Yeah. So
there was a handful, wasn't there?
Yeah. There was but not as many as you would think. And he's the best header of the ball. Who's ever stepped foot on the pitch. So I don't know why we weren't abusing that a lot more. And we've seen it with our corner statistics, 120 corners till we got one goal. I think it was more than 120, probably 126, 7.
Yeah.
And we only got one. So, like, we just weren't good on the wings. And then through the middle, like, we have no midfield who can't pass. Sideways, he can't even pass sideways these days. So the whole team dropped, and you can't blame that all on one player. Because he was actually doing his bit as well, but then I can see like, oh, why isn't he pressing here? He's dropping to the left and right wing, but I think that's because he was catering for the players who weren't actually trying then.
Yeah, it kills me to say it, but because you mentioned his heading there and his leap, can you imagine how many goals he'd score for Liverpool with Trent and Robertson? The way they put crosses into the box. That would be absolutely horrible. Obviously, he'd never go to Liverpool. Like, I would completely rule that out. Like, if that happened, I would be fucking astonished, absolutely astonished. That'd be the biggest transfer ever if he went to Liverpool. So, I don't think that would happen, but I was just thinking in my head then, the amount of crosses they get into the box, like the passing's sensational. Depressing times for United. I think Ronaldo's very Michael Jordan-like, in training. I think that's why people don't warm to him very much, because he's like, you either get up on this level or you stay there. I ain't helping you. You've got to do it yourself and get up here. And that's why the rest of the players don't like it, because he had that kind of strong knit with Ole and Maguire, Rashford, all these English players and stuff. Ronaldo comes in, it just breaks everything apart. Maguire feels a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-conscious, because Ronaldo's, something along the lines of that. Feels intimidated because Ronaldo's there, and you absolutely would. I'm not sympathising with it. I'm not saying they should be like that. Ronaldo's a born winner. I'd take him over anyone at the club, because him and De Gea were our standout players last season. Without them, God knows where we'd be in the table. So I'm not saying that at all. I can see how it's kind of broke down and how the dressing room's split, if you look at it from objectively. But I think he's very Michael Jordan-like in training. And I think if you used to put Michael Jordan in his prime, I don't know a team in the basketball league at the time, let's say the Celtics or something, who weren't that good, the same issue would happen, because Michael Jordan has all these standards, but then the Celtics are so low, they won't be winning at all. And that just cause a natural kind of clash. Do you know what I'm saying? So maybe it is better that he moves on and we get another, but it's just who you get in. I don't know what other striker they're going to get in, Adam.
Yeah, we would have had the priority, would have been probably Darwin Núñez, if we knew this was going to happen. But like a month before all this, before all the talk about Ronaldo leaving, he was saying, I'm looking forward to working with Ten Hag. So like his language, he's like what he was saying, his body language too, he looked calm, he looked like he was getting ready for the next season. I don't know what's changed in the last month, whether Ten Hag has said something to him, but we haven't seen the two of them together yet.
All the transfers, maybe the way the transfers are going. Because the movement's been awful, let's be honest. We were saying the other day, 3 million net spend. We've got Eriksen hasn't even done his medical yet, I don't think, as far as I'm aware. We've just got Malacia, who's a young kid at left back to go on pre-season tour. Like, where's the planning, organisation? Big clubs make big moves. Erling Haaland was done before the window even started. If that was us, for a fact they would drag it out over a 3-month period until the end of August. So the amount of social media traffic they would get during that deal, they know it, and United would drag that out completely. City get it done like that. They get Calvin Phillips done like that. Nunes, Carvalho, and the right back Liverpool got was done quick. Who else? Arsenal, Tottenham have done business as well. Tottenham have got loads of people through the door. Quick, done.
There you go.
And it ruins
Arsenal have a bigger budget than us. Like, that's
exactly.
How do Arsenal have a bigger budget than us?
Make it make sense, please. Someone make it make sense. So yeah,
we have a comment there.
Oh yeah, go on.
From I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Kunli Akinyeli. One United, nice. Great show, guys. Thank you.
One United, did it say?
Yeah, One United, great show, guys.
Absolutely. I love that comment. Where was you up to? So yeah, we'll finish up on Ronaldo because we could sit here and talk about him all day. I want to stick on pre-season though. The youngsters are obviously jumping on the plane with the senior players. There's quite a lot of people going. Who do you think will stand out in pre-season under Ten Hag?
I really want to see one of the youngsters in terms of the wingers stand out. Whether it's Palestri, I think he's coming now. There's talks about him coming since Ronaldo isn't. Is Ahmed on the tour? I think he
Ahmed,
yeah. Ahmed and Garnacho. Just the three. I'd like to see more of Gardner too. He could. Like, given the fact that we have no CDM, he could be huge in the next season. And if he has a good preseason, Ten Hag might warm to him and say, okay, you know what? You're going to be my starting CDM going into the season and see how it goes. You never know. Like, I know the Championship and Premier League, there's a big gap, but he's a starter in the Nottingham Forest side if they sign him again on loan or whatever they want him back on loan, but United are a bit more hesitant. So he will be a Premier League starting CDM right now. So why not give him a go? I know it's from a promoted side, but he had a good season. He got man of the match in the Championship, playoff final. So give him a go. He's probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most to see how he plays. Like, can he play that quick Ajax style, passing, like defense to attack really fast forward passes. We got to see now anyway, but looking forward to actually seeing it now. Is it Tuesday? I think
Tuesday the 12th, against Liverpool in Bangkok, I think it is, something like that. I've got a list, the list of midfielders. I don't know if you've seen it for pre-season, but it doesn't look great at all. Let me have a look. Where is it?
And no pre-season Pirlo.
no pre-season Pirlo either. So Fred, Garner, Hannibal, Savage, McTominay, Van der Beek, Bruno. They're the midfielders that we've got. It's not great, is it, at all, going into pre-season. When you look at Chelsea, Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic, won't surprise me, they've got De Jong as well. City, Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, who can play there as well. You've got fucking Liverpool with Thiago, Fabinho, just bought Carvalho, Henderson, who's not too bad either. It's absolutely mental that we haven't addressed that midfield issue. Eriksen's coming in very quickly on Eriksen because I don't know if he's going to link up with pre-season. I'm not sure what's going to go on there. I don't know if he's going to fly over whilst we're there or God knows what's going to happen. But do you see him being a starter under Erik ten Hag? Or do you think it'll be more like a rotational?
It's a weird one because I think I can see him being a starter. Like with Ronaldo leaving and our winger, Ten Hag likes to play usually with a typical. We've seen Tadic play out in the wing, false nine as well. I think Bruno can be that style of player as well. Bruno likes to create chances. He likes to score goals. So I think it's perfect for him. Maybe we didn't utilize him correctly when we did use him in a false nine, but the team were just they had a lack of confidence during that spell as well, and we didn't see the best out of the whole team then. So under Ten Hag, I think we might see him in that position, and I can actually see Eriksen starting where Bruno typically we'd associate him with, that kind of most forward attacking midfielder. And I really, really am looking forward to seeing him. I think it's one of the few standout deals that I can think of that I'm excited about. Like, it's someone we typically wouldn't go for because he's a free transfer. And I don't know why we haven't been going for these more often, because there is some hidden gems out there. Like we've seen, Kessie, as Sam would say.
Almost.
Yeah. Almost. Kessie from AC Milan to Barcelona. I don't know how they're registering players, but they got him. He's a decent player. Of course, didn't AC Milan win the league just there? So he's he's a Serie A winner now. He's always started for them. He's a great midfielder. He's young, well, I think mid-20s, so he's about to hit his
got a lot of
prime.
years left in him, yeah.
Especially for a midfielder, he could be around for another 10 years. You never know. And it's smart business from them. Fair play to them. Like, I know it's not really a typical thing you would say now, smart business and Barcelona, given the state that they're in. Yeah. But yeah, well, I don't know why we didn't go for these sort of deals more often. I think it's probably the best deal of the window so far. Even if we sign Frankie de Jong, I think it's going to be the best signing of summer for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Barcelona are doing a madness at the minute. They just seem to be halting everybody up. Like every deal that seems to be going through, it's just like, we're waiting for Barca. Bayern Munich, waiting for Barca. Chelsea, waiting for Barca. Because they don't know if Aspilicueta, Alonso, Christensen are going over there as well. We're waiting on De Jong. They want to buy Lewandowski. They want to buy Bernardo Silva, but can't buy Bernardo Silva until the De Jong money goes in. But then the De Jong thing can't happen because they owe him 17 million in wages. And it's just like a fucking... Oh, if Pogba was a transfer market, if Pogba was a transfer market, it would be Barcelona right now.
I have another comment there. Andrea Belletti is a free this summer. Would you consider him? I think I mentioned him once or twice. Since Ronaldo's leaving, why not bring him in, give him a year contract? I know he's left, whatever. Like if he pops up with even 10 goals, kind of like how Cavani done, I take it in a heartbeat because we don't have a striker and he's free. It's like no risk.
It's kind of a desperate thing in it at the minute, like because there isn't any obvious strikers out there. Like we always discuss the striker transfer market at the moment, and it's non-existent pretty much. Like it's crazy. Am I right in saying Belotti played for Torino in the Italian league?
Yeah. Oh,
and then
the next big thing for a while.
Yeah, why wasn't a thing like an extension in contract? Did he want to leave as a free agent? Like there's not much clarity on that. I'm just looking at his stats now. 22 games played, 8 goals, 1 assist. So 50% of his games he's scored in. But I'm just curious. I don't know how many, like his age and stuff. I'm just having a look. 28 years old. I mean, it could work. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't want to sign someone for the sake of it because we are desperate. Yeah. But if you don't get anyone in, it's going to have to be like another Odion Ighalo, and you just have to gamble and get someone in. But I'd much rather go spend 60, 70 million on a versatile. I'd even take Dybala over that, to be honest, because he said today, which we're going to touch on later, that, we might be able to get him. Yeah, lower wages. But yeah, just finally on the tour as well, what are you expecting from it? And what do you think about the Liverpool game? Are you excited for it? Because I know the game itself, last season was just absolutely terrible towards the end when we got slapped off Brighton, Arsenal. It was just absolutely horrible. Going into this pre-season now, it's clean slate, fresh thinking. Everybody's prepped for it. I don't want to buy into it too much, all this social media I've seen, all this kind of shit, but Ten Hag looks like he's straight on the pitch, focusing on his ideas, trying to implement his philosophy. So what are you expecting from this pre-season?
I've been so lies over the years about pre-season, especially with Man United. I think, we're going to be great this season. I remember the Everton game last year. We played unbelievable football in that game. I know it was pre-season, but we were thinking, okay, everything's clicking. This is what Ollie's been cooking over the last 2 years. Yeah. And obviously he was sacked then about 3 months later. So it wouldn't surprise me now if we went out on Tuesday and beat Liverpool. Now, I know it's weird saying that, but I just want to see us, pass the ball well, get used to the Ten Hag system of play. That's all we can actually hope for, especially in these couple of games. It's a chance for Ten Hag to actually see them on the pitch against different forms of opposition as well. So we'll see how it goes. Like, I'm sure he'll be eyeing up certain players, like where he thinks the weak points are. So and then if they improve, he might think, okay, maybe we can wait a year before we prioritize that position. So we got to wait and see anyway. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Just us adapting to the new style of play.
Just another comment there from Craig Moon. It says Torino asking too much, so he ran his contract out to get a big move. I wonder how much he was at. Put it in the chat how much he was asking for. It's interesting that to see how much they would have wanted. If they're saying like 40, 50 million, maybe it's worth a punt. I'm not sure. I have to be honest and say I don't religiously watch Serie A. I don't imagine a lot of people do. So it's one of them. I'd have to have a kind of deep, detailed look at him. I want to talk about the new home kit, not for very long, Adam, because it's one of them. You're kind of promoting it for no reason, because I ain't going to spend any money on it personally. We've obviously launched the new home kit the new home kit today. Same players pictured in new shirts, unfortunately. Like I said, I won't be buying one. I'll be getting one off Vinted or Depop or some kind of shit like that. I won't be putting money in the Glazers' pockets. But I just wanted to ask you a few questions on it, Adam. Will you be buying one? Are you a fan of the new kit? And thoughts on him selling the Ronaldo ones as well, when they know potentially that he could leave? Like, that's a little bit shit. Yeah. I think
it is. Like, do you get a refund if he does leave? Technically, because it's before the start of the season. We've seen it before with certain players changing numbers kind of later in after the release of a home kit. Clubs have refunded. Will United refund? I highly doubt it, because once United have your money, they are not giving it back. They've already done it with me with memberships too. Completely forgot, but I never got an email saying to to update your payment, whatever. I got money taken out of my account straight away, no hesitation, and then you can't contact anyone about it. But the new home kit, I like the retroness of it, I'll admit. I'm a big fan of the the away one, the white one. I like that. I think I'll do what you do. I don't want to buy it from the actual club. I'll get someone who remakes them. You get it cheaper too, because I'm not spending. It's going to be like 100 to 120 euro for me. So about 90 quid for you. Yeah. That's just the. It's not the authentic one as well. That's just the replica one.
Yeah, I think it's 80 quid for just the normal one, and then the authentic one's 110. I think something like that. So yeah, I ain't putting no money in fucking, because it goes to Adidas, and then Adidas. Well, I think they've already paid the Glazers a set amount. It might be, and then whatever Adidas make profit off it. But regardless, it's still, if you keep funding them, they keep paying the Glazers and blah blah blah. Yeah. So, as an option for everyone, if you don't want to go put money in the Glazers' pockets and you're serious about your stance on them, go to Vinted, go to Depop, go somewhere like that, and get someone who's either making replicas or selling a set one. Do you know what I mean? Because then you're not directly putting money in their pockets, which is always nice when you're penny pinching from them. Craig Mooney again with a comment, 40 to 60, I believe. Juventus were looking at him a while ago, but price was ridiculous. Ronaldo has to leave for your own sake, otherwise he's going to ruin your season and make it all about him. Likes the new kit. Kick him from the stream quick.
I like the collar. Have you seen it flicked up? It looks cool as fuck on Eric Cantona. I
like the white kit's nice, I have to admit, but regardless, I ain't going to buy it, so it is what it is. Let's move on the chat, because I don't want to discuss about the kit too much, and let's move on to the actual transfer stories, Adam. The first one's coming from CC Eknor, Hurst Class. And it says, Man United could hijack a deal between Ajax and Brian Brobby after Erik ten Hag contacted the player recently. He is keen on bringing Brobby to United to strengthen his attacking department. What do you think about this?
Well, I don't know if many people know the background, but he obviously was on loan at Ajax from Leipzig last season. I think he's played 11 games, 7 goals and 1 assist. So 8 goal contributions in 11 games for a youngster isn't that bad. Decent stats there. I know he's not the tallest, but he's really, really fast. He's rapid. I see a few comparisons with Bergwijn. That's what people have been saying. Kind of small, but built quite well, strong. Okay. If it's a player that Erik ten Hag wants to go after, by all means, go for him. This isn't someone that we would have we wouldn't have. If you got a load of names in the hat, you'd probably pull him out sooner. Like, it isn't a name we typically go after. But if Erik ten Hag really wants him, sign him. I'm all for it. He's a youngster. He's fast, built. Why not? And give a bit of competition for all our kind of forwards, whether it's Martial.
None of them.
Or none of them, yeah. Could be a starter next season.
Oh, God, imagine. I don't mind it when you go get, like, I've always said, if you want to go get like a rough gem from around Europe, I'll stick with that and I'll back it, because our previous recruitment the past 10 years has been get big name players, and that hasn't worked by any stretch of imagination. So go get young proven players or young on the come up players. I don't mind at all. I do think, however, it's one too many Ajax players, because I think you want to sign Lisandro Martinez, you want to sign Antony, you want to sign this Brobby kind of geezer, and then we're linked with other Ajax players as well, and it's just like, how many do you want to sign? I was listening to
the club.
Yeah, exactly. I might just sign the full fucking team. Yeah, I was listening to someone. I was listening to someone this morning, and they were saying basically like you're nearly signing the full club. You're taking all the players off him, which obviously morally I'm not really bothered. Like if you want to go buy all Ajax players, it is what it is. But not all of them are going to hit the ground running. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know how I feel about buying a player for 13 million. Who's not exactly, and then depending on what role he has, if he was just like a kind of like a squad rotational player, you're bringing him for like cup games, so I don't mind, and then he progresses. But you can't tell me you're going to bring someone in like him and then have him as like the number 9 for the rest of the season if Ronaldo leaves. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's obviously a player Ten Hag trusts, but I don't know how credible that CC Ekner is. I don't know how far along the line it is. Maybe it's just interesting. That's what it is. I'm not entirely sure. Let's stay on attackers. So next story is coming from Rob Dawson, ESPN, and it says Man United have been approached about the possibility of signing Paulo Dybala. His representatives are keen to strike up interest from the Premier League club, including United. I don't think I spoke to you about Dybala, Adam. I spoke to Sam about it, and he was like, no, fucking no. What do you think? Do you have a different kind of mind frame on it, or?
Well, given the news that came out about the wages, that he'd take around 100 grand a week, that's less than what Phil Jones is on.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Just about to say that. Yeah.
So we're thinking in that sense, is his injury? I know his injury. He has an injury record there, but is it as bad as Phil Jones's? I don't think so. We're lacking a lot of options up front, but is it a player that Ten Hag will go after? Could you see him? Being used by Eric Ten Hag? Would Ten Hag, if he went to another club, go after him? I'm not too sure. It kind of screams of desperation for me for that big name. And it's especially if Frankie de Jong doesn't get over the line. It wouldn't surprise me if they went this route. So, would I take him? If Ronaldo goes, what choice do we have? We don't have that many striker options or forward options. He could be used and he could be a decent signing if we do bring him in.
There's a great comment there from Craig. It says, Klopp bought Robert Lewandowski for 5 million, trusting Ten Hag to create a monster. The thing is, I do trust him to develop players. I know he's very good at developing players. The only thing is, what happens if we bring him in and he doesn't work out? If we put that much trust in a player, we bring him into United and put 38 games and trust him to score almost 20 goals or 20 plus goals. It's a lot of pressure. And a player coming from Ajax, or where was he at, Leipzig now on loan? Was it?
At Leipzig? Yeah, he was on loan from Leipzig at Ajax.
Yeah. So and then moving to United, it's a different kettle of fish, complete different kettle of fish. But I wouldn't mind bringing him in and then developing him. That's fine. But right now we need someone who's 20 goals, who's going to guarantee 20 goals. That's just my personal opinion. On Dybala, initially I thought wages would be a massive issue. So the fact that he said he'll take 100k, absolutely fine with that, because he's probably on less than most of our players, let's be honest. I do think if we was to bring him in and Ronaldo was to leave, we'd have to switch up our style of play. So you'd have to play with a false 9, how Pep does, or something along the lines of that. And then you can kind of interchange with Bruno in there. I know we used Tadic to false 9, didn't he, at Ajax? Did, so I reckon he'd probably do a similar thing with that with Dybala. His injuries, though, I had a look at his injuries in detail, and they're not great. They're not good at all, and that hinders obviously his playing time, but his consistency as well. He was inconsistent for Juventus. He's a very talented player, but injuries and inconsistency. Think how many players we've had with injuries and inconsistency, Adam. Yeah. You can name loads of them at United currently. So, again, it's another one where it's a risk. But, again, if Ten Hag wants him, what can you do? You just have to trust it, don't you? See what happens. I know he can play. Dybala can play as a false 9. He can play as a second striker, and he can play on the wing or as a 10. So offensively, it'd be good, similar to Nkunku, can play, kind of similar. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I do think they'll probably activate. Is he on a free?
He's a free. Yeah. He's a free agent right now.
So I'd rather take him than Belotti. If you give me the choice out of them two, I'll take Dybala, to be honest.
I'd take both.
Well, yeah. You never know. But it depends how long of a contract they want. Because if they want 4 or 5 years and they're injured that much, do you know what I mean? I'm not entirely sure if there's a future in that. But again, you just have to trust Trenag. Jesus Christ. It's been a long day. Yeah, 10 bag. Should we move it on? Let's move it on. Right, Rob Dawson, ESPN. There is a feeling at United that a deal for Martinez is now more attainable and that he could be convinced to snub Arsenal and move to Old Trafford if Ajax show a willingness to compromise over the fee. I've always been confident on this deal, Adam. I don't know how you feel about it. Do you want to talk to me?
Bit of a rough one because I've been confident about many deals so far in this window. But initially the Timber deal, for a while I thought it was going to be the first thing that we'd announce. But then Louis van Gaal turns around, changes the player's mind completely. Then the Frankie de Jong one, it looked like it was set in stone about to happen. Finally, may I add. And then we find out Barcelona owe 13 million in wages. So there's so many twists and turns in this transfer window, particularly for us, that it wouldn't surprise me if if something else happens, like if something unexpected happens.
Yeah.
I've kind of gone on a tangent there, and I forgot the question.
Just you to do that. Let's bring you back in the room. I can see your head going like that there, and then you was just boom, gone. Lisandro Martinez. Just as a player, talk to me about as a player. Obviously, I don't know if you've seen a lot of him. We've discussed him on heads-to-heads and stuff like that. But do you think he'll come in, be a starter straight away?
I think he is. Given the injury record of Iran, the uncertainty of Maguire, I think he will be a starter and he can play in multiple positions. What I like, very versatile, good in the air, despite his height. I watched a compilation there of him against Haaland. Over the 2 legs when they played last season.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And he was in his back pocket. I think, do people call him the Pitbull, do they? I think that's his... No,
that was Malacia's. That was Malacia for Feyenoord, but for Ajax, he is a bit like he's not Rojo level. I think we discussed that. It's not like absolutely mental, but he can read the game really well and he's got a good tackle on him. Like 1v1 duels is great.
Exactly. So. We broke down all them stats in that head-to-head, so it's definitely a video to check out. I think it was just the overall percentage was so much higher than Lindelof in 1v1s, ground duels, aerial duels too, despite his height. That's one thing I couldn't get over. He's 5'8", and he's competing in a league against where the average height is 6'2", and he's dominant in the air. That says everything about the player. He's... I'm going to call him a terrier. He's like that. He's not as reckless as Rojo, but Ten Hag obviously trusts him. So I think it is going to happen, though. I am confident about this deal now. It feels like we offered what they were asking, and it was against us and Arsenal. And what do Arsenal have over us? It's not like they have Champions League football or anything, and we have the manager that he, trust him over the last 3 years, who has got him playing. So I can see it happening. It could be maybe a week, give it a week, and the deal might be over the line finally.
Yeah, again, another versatile player as well who could play at wing back, can play at DM. Mm-hmm. Could be a DM. I could have thrown an absolute spanner in the works. Put him in DM, you got Lisandro, De Jong, and then someone else in that midfield, like an Eriksen or Bruno. You've just seen that Sligo Shagger comment, haven't you? On the thing, is that why you're smiling?
Yeah.
Yes, the Sligo Shagger. That's what I'm saying. 250. Thank you very much, Sam. Again, let's see what happens with this Sandro Martinez deal. Sorry, I think it'd be 50 million euros, probably with add-ons and something along the lines of that. And I do think after Eriksen's done his medical and that's been announced, they'll put him in the new kit. I do think Lisandro will be the next through the door, and hopefully it's quick enough so he might be able to join us on pre-season. But by the looks of it, all of our signings, or half of them, are going to be joining us after pre-season, which is just fucking mental. Anyway, this is another article from Rob Dawson at ESPN, and he says dialogue remains ongoing over Frankie de Jong. Don't know who that is, but there remains uncertainty at United about whether a deal is possible. There are still significant hurdles to overcome. Sorry, let me wake up.
We've heard all this before.
There. Yeah, like, come on, man. We've had 6 weeks of covering this shit. 6 weeks since Gerard Romero dropped that bomb and was like, De Jong's 95% done. Well, fuck me. Do you know when you're doing a download on PS4 or PS5, whatever you've got, and it comes up to the copying stage and it gets up to 90% and it just stays there and just doesn't move at all? That's what's happening right now with this deal. It's just got 95% complete. I don't feel like it's ever going to get done. I feel like it's going to be another Jadon Sancho thing where we'll get him next year now instead, because it's a constant twist and turn. You know what it's like? It's like a fucking Hollyoaks omnibus, but Hollyoaks actually has better fucking drama in there. It seems like just the same thing every week. Consistent. I am sick to fucking death of talking about Frankie de Jong. Honestly, I really am. And if we don't manage to land this deal now, it'd be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to us. It must be. How can you chase the player for 6 weeks when you know the club who are selling him are in dire situations with debt, and they need to sign players? They're so desperate. He cannot get mugged off by a team like that. No. He can't get mugged off by a team like that. Like, talk to me about Frankie de Jong, Adam, because I'm losing fucking patience.
Yeah, it seems like there's a new hurdle every day popping up. The wage thing. I don't know how Man United, surely they were aware of that recently. Like, there's no way you negotiate for 5 weeks and then this comes out. This bombshell drops. Like, it's given what's happened. We're seeing how I think the agent isn't pushed on even showing up to the negotiation table, which says a lot. He doesn't want to drop his wages because he already has, and he's already owed that money and he hasn't got it. So you can come to a club where the fans are absolutely going to adore you for coming in. You can be the main man in that team. You can dictate the play of every single match. Kind of be the main passer of the team like a Paul Scholes, and you'll get the appreciation from all the Manchester United fans. Or you can stay at Barcelona, where the fans do boo him at times as well. They're not happy, but he's being played out of position a lot. And you can take a wage cut and you won't get your wages as well. So what is next? Are we going to cover? Are we going to pay less? In that sense, like, cut, and it'll kind of make up for maybe Barcelona, paying some of his wage back. I think they offered, 3 million? They still owe him 10 million, top of that.
They're trying to give him 10%, well, not 10%, what would it be? 5, 10, 20%? Be roughly about 20% of what they actually owe him. If it's 17 million, 10% would be 1.7, double that would be 3.4. So about 18% of what they actually owe him, they're trying to give him, which is just... Barcelona at the minute are fucking embarrassed, because obviously De Jong's agent sat there, which apparently their relationship between De Jong's agent and Barcelona is completely broken now. Like, they don't even want to talk to each other. That his agent went AWOL for a couple of days and just didn't speak to him at all. They know Barcelona are pushing for Lewandowski. They know they're pushing for Bernardo Silva. They know they've just signed Christensen, Kesse, and they want Azpilicueta as well, and Alonso, I think. So how can they sit there and say, we haven't got the money to give you, 17 million, we'll give you 3 million. Just like, what the fuck's going on here? It's embarrassing, man. Proper embarrassing. And I'm getting grey hair sitting here talking about De Jong. I'm absolutely sick of it. I would rather go get, at this point, genuinely, I would rather go get someone else. I don't know who. I don't know if you'd get a Neves and a Sangare, probably for the same price. I don't know if that would be as effective. I know Ten Hag really, really wants this player, and that's probably why we've just stuck on this deal for so long. But it gets to a point where we start the season in a month. 4 weeks' time. What are we on now? Today's the 8th of July. We play Brighton on the 7th of August.
Less than a month now.
Yeah, 30 days' time, we start the season. And he isn't even in. He's not done his medical or anything like that. How... Are you going to leave it to the end of August, where we've already played 4 or 5 games? Like, it's just getting stupid now. So, let's hope we hear something on De Jong really soon. Bagash Bin said Sue. Nice to see you there in the chat.
That'll be my reaction if we can actually make more than one deal in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, which just it won't happen with United, let's be honest. The last article I want to touch on, Adam, is regarding a right back. This came out of nowhere. I was just like, what? Where's this coming from? Because we've got that many positions, left back, centre mid, striker, winger, all these situations that we need to sort out. Then Samuel Luckhurst from the MEN comes out and says, Eric Ten Hag wants a right back as well as a centre back. It's strange, proper strange, because I don't know where this has come from. I haven't even heard anything about right back. It's always been a left back, and we brought Malacia in. So he's through the door now. Maybe we've actually got a deal lined up for Wan-Bissaka, and that's why they could spend the 20 to 25 mil, whatever it is we'd get for him, on another player. The one that stands out to me, who we've spoken about before, and I think, did we do a head-to-head?
Might have done in the early days. Was this in March time, was it?
If we haven't, then that'll be the next head-to-head. I'll do a Dumfries versus Wan-Bissaka or something like that. But I think I said at the time when Inter Milan signed Dumfries for, how much was it, 12 million? They sold Hakimi for 70 million euros and bought Dumfries for 12. And I was like, that is great business, because he had a fucking really good Euros. And he'd suit into the system straight away, playing a back five as a wing back, and he'd be effective. And I think he's decent. Ten Hag's a massive fan of him. Again, another player, Dutch player. But I think if you can get him for 20 to 25 million, I'd take Dumfries over Wan-Bissaka in a heartbeat. Absolute heartbeat. My only concern is the back four. I haven't seen him play in a back four, because systematically he plays back five for the Netherlands and plays back five for Inter Milan. So that'd be the only question I'd pose to you. Like, what do you think about Dumfries? I don't know if you've seen much of him, but yeah.
Yeah, I watched him in the Euros. Really, really good standout player for the Netherlands team, as you're saying. Then what Inter Milan done, absolute steal. How much just got for Hakimi, and then what you said, 12 million, was it?
Yeah,
12 million. Yeah, unbelievable deal. That's the main test. We've seen him in the back five, but we haven't actually seen him in the back four. But under the right coach, and I can see him being a standout player on the right. We need someone on the right. Don't think we can put all our faith in Dallo and then maybe a youngster coming through the academy. Yeah. It's way too soon for that. Dumfries, he'd be a starter right away. He knows how to get forward. He's strong. He's fast. He can actually cross the ball in. So for me, I'm all for it. And I don't know what the reported kind of, how much it will cost to be, depending on his contract. I don't know when it's expiring. But if you can get a deal for relatively cheap, I mean, we want a right back. We want a centre back. In a perfect world, we get them. But we've seen the budget. People are talking about this budget of like 140 million, and we've only spent 3.5 million of it. So crazy.
And to think, Adam, as well, we want to buy Antony from Ajax, probably going to cost 60 million, right? We're going to need a striker because Ronaldo's leaving, so that's more money there. We still haven't signed De Jong, which is probably about rising up to 85 million euros. You just bought Malacia for 15 million. You want Lisandro Martinez, who's going to cost 50 million. You now want a right back who's going to cost 20 to 30 million. Where the fuck's all this money coming from? When have we ever had a net spend that's above, 120 million? It's never, ever happened. I'm not saying it won't. There's potential for it, because I remember that interview that Richard Arnold did with all the lads at the pub, and he was like, we've got the money to spend, don't worry. They're talking about 200 million and all this kind of shit. I don't know if they're willing to spend that much, but I do think someone like a right back, whoever it is we're linked to, I think outgoings, that it'll depend on who we sell.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hopefully we can get something back for Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. I just hope Eriksen, I thought Eriksen was going to get announced today. The medical complete, here we go, all that kind of stuff. Well, we had a here we go, sorry, from Romano, but I had a feeling he'd get announced. I don't know what's going on. It might have been whilst we've been live, but I haven't seen anything at all. So I'm still waiting on that. Still waiting to have personal terms discussions with De Jong. Apparently, we've put in a second bid for Lisandro Martinez, 50 million euros, I think, maybe plus add-ons, and the hopeful that Ajax will accept. And then, there's a couple more that are still kind of pending, like your Eriksen's and maybe a right back. So, again, we'll see what happens with that, Adam. Anything else you want to add before we kind of head off?
Maybe just if you're watching this right now and you haven't subscribed, do it. We just hit 200. We've been aiming for that number for quite a while. It felt like at times we were never going to hit it.
It's a grind. It is a grind.
It is a grind. The next goal is 250, hopefully, before the start of the season. So a big month of transfers. We stream a lot of stuff. If you're into non-related kind of football stuff as well, check out our Twitch. We stream different games over there. There's PUBG, a lot of Warzone. Assassin's Creed has been on it too. Check out our Instagram. That's active. Our Twitter too. They're very, very active. Always keeping up to date with the latest news. So if you haven't, follow all them, subscribe to this, please. It's much appreciated. And always get your comments in. We'll always try and reply to them as soon as we can. And if you ever want, just mention if you want to come onto a show, discuss it. We might consider it. You never know. So
absolutely,
yeah, send the love and tell someone you love them.
Perfect, Adam. Absolutely perfect. And smash a like on the video as well. Drop a like on the video if you can. We really appreciate that. And thank you for the chat, for joining in. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this now or you're watching it later on, have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you at some point over Saturday, Sunday or Monday. And then obviously pre-season game on Tuesday, which I'm going to try to do a watch along for, but I need to get the times and stuff of when it's on. I'm not sure if it's on like 4 a.m. I ain't doing a watch along because I'll have work, but I'll look into that, and we'll post it on our Instagram or something along the lines. Thank you for joining me, Adam. Have a lovely weekend yourself. I think you're in work, aren't you?
I am working all weekend. Yeah.
So everybody wish Adam well over the weekend as he's working. I'm going to be relaxing with a beer. And yeah, been real red start. Too.
Maybe a headache. But
yeah, exactly. It's been real red start transfer show. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.